All right, good evening. So we're going to start today's session. Now, prerequisite, I just want to know whether do you all manage to go and attend the video for lesson 12 and lesson 49? And then some of you, I know Indram has done the questions already. How about Adia? Adia, do you do any questions or not?
I did that worksheet, the one before you join this class. They ask you to do it.
That's,
I
that's
did
right,
it.
that's right. Okay,
That's about it.
okay, that's good. Okay, before we look at the question, let Mr. Ko just do some brief introduction about today's session. Now, basically, we're going to talk about equation of straight line, and that takes the form y equal to mx plus c. And this equation, you have to remember it well. It will have to take this form, y equal to mx plus c. So what happened here is your m, what does your m stands for? It stands for gradient of line. And your C stands for y-intercept. Now, this actually you have done in your secondary one. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you. Okay, let me just activate this again. I'm going to show you this software that I have. Let's see. Anybody coming in? Nobody. Okay. If you look at this, I'm sure you can look at this graph, right? This is a website about graphs. So what I'm going to show you is looking at the formula or equation y equal mx plus c, what exactly is m and what exactly is c? Now, in this case, we make sure that this is at y equal mx and then c is 0. That's why it starts from the origin 0, 0. So what happened when c is 0? The line actually passed through 0. So I'm going to slowly shift and you're going to see what happened. And I shift it to 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm going to shift it to 1. The equation will pass through the point y equal to 1. And then I'm going to move it to 2. Then you pass to 2 as well. And then move it to 3. And pass to 3. And lastly, move it to 4 and pass it to 4. So that's the reason why whatever value C takes, that's called the y-intercept. What's the meaning of y-intercept? Meaning it passes through the y point, okay, the y-axis. Now, I can go to the other extreme. What happens if C go to -1? So you see, as I move down to -1, so the whole equation just moved down as well. So same thing, it will pass to -1, and then -2, -3, and -4. Okay, so later on, you all can actually copy down this equation website, and you can also look at how the equation varies. So I'm going to look at I'm going to show you, okay, let me move back the C to origin 0. Now, what happens if I vary the M? M is actually the gradient of the line. So if I were to change it to 2, so if I change M to 2, you notice what happened is the line now is steeper. And I go on to 3, it's even more steeper. And when I reach 4, okay, so in this case, we only vary until 4. Then what happens if I move until 0? Okay, you notice one thing, if I move until 0, that means the gradient is 0. What happened to the equation, the line? Okay, I ask again now. If the gradient is 0, what happened to the equation of the line? Anyone can answer this question? Imran, you can answer this question? If the gradient is 0, what happened to the equation of the line?
The equation of the line becomes 0 also.
Yeah, equation of line is becomes 0, meaning
So
y
if
equal
the
to, okay, so what is this equation of line? Look at this line, the red line. This is y equal to
0 and m
y equal
and
to,
yeah, y equals 0 and x equals 0 also.
yeah, y equals 0, x equals 0 is the origin. But this whole equation, the red line is y equal to 0, which you answered just now, okay? So it's just
Yeah.
y equal to 0, okay? So let me go show you what happened if, okay, if the equation is negative. So you notice one thing, if the equation is negative, what happened to the line? The line moved the other side. Okay, so this is because of negative equation. So this part here, positive equation, positive gradient. This part here, negative gradient. Can you all see that? Okay, so perhaps maybe after today's session, you all can go on and try this website which I have. Later on, you can actually take down, or you can download the slides also. Okay, so let me still go stop here. Okay, let's continue from where we stopped just now. Okay, hi everyone. Hi Sherman. Hi Isra. Can you hear me? And is it how to pronounce your name? Ice or Anaki? Okay, are you able to unmute yourself and say hello to Mr. Cole? I'm Mr. Cole here. Sherman, are you able to unmute yourself? How about Isra? Isra, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, how about how to pronounce your name? Ice? How do I call you, Ice or Anaki? Ice or Anaki? Are you responding? Mr. Cole will ask you to unmute yourself. Yeah, Ice? Okay, maybe you all just miss something that Mr. Cole shared. Maybe I will quickly go back to that slide again. Okay, very quickly, Mr. Cole go through what I've just shared with the rest. We are looking at the equation y equal to mx plus c. Now, this software or this online software actually shows you what happens when I vary c. That means in this case, the starting point is c equal to 0. Now, if I have c equal to 1, you notice the equation just move up. Okay, the line just move up. C equal to 2, the line move higher. C equal to 3, and C equal to 4. So what happened is, you notice one thing is the line always passes through the y-axis, the point where C equal to 4. Okay, so this is also, the C is also known as the y-intercept. So very quickly, I'm going to talk about what happened if I vary the gradient. So in this case, if the gradient, I start from 4, If the gradient is 4, it's very steep. And this is a positive gradient. So what about 3? So slowly the gradient is moving down, less steep already, 2, and then 1. And then finally, if the gradient is 0, you actually get an equation. So this equation is actually y equal to 0. Okay, so when y equal to 0, your gradient is also equal to 0. Then what happens if you have negative gradient? So you notice one thing is if negative gradient, it goes the other direction. Okay, so this is -1, -2, -3, and then finally you have -4. All right. Okay, let's see. Eyes, are you able to talk? Not hearing from you. Okay, let's continue with our session. So just now I mentioned, when you talk about equation of line, we always have to remember this formula or this equation y equal to mx plus c. So c is the y-intercept and m is the gradient of line. The other thing that you also need to recall from secondary 1, finding the gradient of linear graph, you will actually also learn it as vertical change, horizontal change. Or the other one that you remember is rise and run. Okay, I don't know how you still remember this. Okay, if you all can remember, can you all give a wave to Mr. Ko? Are you able to wave? Okay, thumbs up. Well done. Isra? Adia, are you able to do a thumbs up as well? Okay, Imran, very good. Hey, let's see who I'm not able to see. Now, the other thing that I also want to mention is, you notice the gradient. Okay, if the gradient is positive, it goes this way. All right, so it goes this way. Okay, so Mr. O should point like that. It goes this way. Okay, so that is a positive. Now, if it's negative, it goes the other direction. Okay, so it should be like, let me see. Yes, this probably looks good. Okay, this direction. So that is negative. So positive this way, negative this way. So that's the reason why I want you to remember this, finding the gradient. y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Whereas for using rise and run, you have to make sure that you know whether it is a positive gradient or negative gradient. But if you use the formula y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, it will automatically tell you whether it is a positive or a negative gradient. Okay, so I'm going on to next slide where I want you to try on this question. I think some of you did already, so I'm not sure how many of you did. So let's say how many of you do I have? Let's say, okay, Adia can try A, Isra can try B, Imran can try C, Sherman can try D. Okay, let's see, do I miss out anybody? 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so there's one left, which is E. So just nice, you see A, B, C, D, then after that, Mr. Ko will do a E. Or let's say if any one of you get any of this question wrong, then you can try again with E. Is that okay?